Namaste everyone, Yoga Chris here, and I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I wanted to talk about two things that I see are missing in people who practice pranayama. Pranayama is yoga breathing. It's a science of how am I manipulating my mind, my physiology, and my emotions, and so many other layers of our existence through controlled breathing, or uncontrolled breathing, which is a kind of control. You're letting go of control because you're in control of that. And there are a lot of datums in pranayama that I've already talked about on the channel. I have a pranayama playlist, so you go and find that on the channel. And Ashtanga Primary Series Pranayama is a compendium of a sequence of pranayama techniques that BNS Iyengar showed me in India. And some of the really key features, keep the tongue relaxed, keep the face relaxed, and keep the shoulders relaxed. It's a lot about relaxing. The pranayama is not for the purpose of relaxing, but those datums often come back to relaxing. Now I'm going to give you two non-physical datums, so to speak. The first one is like semi-physical. It's emotional, and it has to do with what's going on in your torso. Feeling, sensationally, in a strictly talking about what are you sensing, what are you feeling. Maybe it's an emotion, or it could be a feeling that's triggered by the sensations. For example, when the heart starts to palpitate, or when you start to get cramps between the ribs, or if you're short of breath. These things can evoke feelings and emotions, and it's not as easy as you think it is to be in tune with what's going on in your torso. As my friend Catherine Oman would say, my thing was turned around, what's going on between the neck and the pelvis? This region, I know you can't see where I'm pointing, but you get it, the rim of the pelvis. A lot of people are kind of cut off to what's going on in an emotional sense. So when we say what's going on, it's not like Channel 5 news. It's something that's transitory. It's going to pass. But we don't want to practice pranayama of pushing through that. You don't want to be feeling something emotionally intense, or even if it's not intense, even if it's subtle, you want to be aware of it, because that's fodder for your meditation. That's something really juicy there that's going on, because if you didn't create the feeling, if you didn't create the emotion, that means something else did. And so what is having control over your system that's creating an emotion in you? If you just drill through the pranayama, if you drill through the meditation, you're like, I'm feeling something, fuck it, I'm doing this. That is, one, it's going to create rigidity in the body, because it takes muscular effort, even if it's just a little bit, to not react to an emotion. Emotions are designed, the body is designed to react to emotions. That's why we have emotions. Fear is to run, joy is to act out, sadness is to retreat, or whatever. So actions are associated with emotions. If you're feeling an emotion and you're not acting on it, that's requiring muscular effort to restrain the body's natural inclination to take action. And so that's creating rigidity, and that's not what we want. We want softness but firmness, suppleness but strength. And so we're constantly playing with these seemingly opposite qualities, but they're not mutually exclusive. You can be soft. For example, my muscles are very soft. I'm complimented a lot when people work on my body, like massage, that because I have muscle, they expected it to be of a certain rigidity. I'm strong, but it's soft, and it can be softer and it can be stronger, so it's not like I'm at the end. So what I invite you to do, if you're meditating, if you're just breathing, it could be advanced breathing techniques, it could be simple breathing techniques like I show in the Silent Flute program, are very fundamental building blocks that will bring somebody from never practicing yoga into something like Ashtanga Primary Series Pranayama. That might take a year, it might take longer. That's not even the goal. That's just know that there is a progression, there is more to attain and achieve, and the point is to really bring the achievements of yoga into daily living. The ability to tune into what's going on in your body emotionally is important in life. If you want relationships, if you want effective communication with people, you got to be in tune with what you're feeling, and not shy away from it. And so we don't want to pattern that. If you're in your breathing practice and you're shying away from the feeling, and you'll know that you were, listen, I was I was just now in my pranayama practice. Halfway through, I realized, oh, I'm not feeling what's going on in my rib cage, and so it's not as easy as it sounds, and you're probably not doing it. You'll know that how impactful this is when you do finally, you're doing some breathing, even if it's not nostril breathing, you're just and of course all the datums, relaxed jaw, relaxed tongue, relaxed belly, and you set your timer for 3 minutes and you do that for 3 minutes and it'll slowly start to slow down. Then notice, what am I feeling between my collarbones and my pelvis? What's going on in my belly, my rib cage, my back, all the organs that are here? Just, you ask yourself silently, check in with yourself, as Vince Kelvin would say, what's going on? And when you bring your awareness there and you start to notice, wow, I'm feeling things here that I just wasn't even aware of. They were there, I just wasn't aware of them. Then you might start to realize how much of your day, how much of your conscious living, you're just not in tune with what's going on in your torso. And so that's important. Feature number one, that should amplify any spiritual practice you got going on, anything that's sitting still. I haven't really tried to do it during my asana practice because so many other things are going on there. But there is a relationship, so this is key too. A relationship between that first feature and the asana practice is, are you clearing your mind? Remember, this is about yoga breathing. This video is about pranayama, but it does apply greatly to posture practice. It applies greatly to meditation practice, rituals, chanting, whatever your practice is. If you consider it a practice, if you consider that what you're doing is something to clear your head, it's something to ground, it's something to, take some time for yourself. Is that activity clearing your mind? Are you creating clutter, or are you creating space in your mind? It's very useful to think of the mind as a field. This comes from David Grieg. I mean, a lot of people talk about it, but he's the one that first really pounded it into my mind. Think of the mind as a field, like a blob or whatever, however you visualize it. It could be a cube, so it could be whatever. But when you create boundaries, that the mind is bounded or bound, then you start to notice that you are observing this bound mind. And so who's observing it? And then you create this, there's consciousness and then there's awareness, and two different things. So we're trying to clean it out so that your mind is a more effective instrument to broadcast your communication, to broadcast your thoughts, broadcast yourself, which is the consciousness. So is your practice, this is a question to ask yourself when you're breathing, in your breathing practice. I mean, you can do it normally breathing, but in your breathing practice, your pranayama, your meditation, your posture practice, or whatever your rituals are you creating space or are you creating clutter? Is this creating clutter, or am I clearing my mind? I want to clear my mind because I realize the more clear my mind is, the more effective all of my activities are. All of my research, all of my communication, all of my practices, my sense of ease, comfort, and presence. The ability to actually respond to what's going on as it's going on in an appropriate way is facilitated by clear mind. Not empty, not no mind, not dumbness, but clarity. Are you creating clarity with your breathing practice? And that's a key datum. So, 1, what am I feeling in my torso region? What's going on here? 2, are you creating space? Am I creating space? And I think these 2 datums would greatly help anybody that's practicing these yoga sciences. And so definitely comment below if it did help you, or if you wanted a little bit more, or if you have an insight of your own. I'd love to hear it. And definitely subscribe. Sacred Soaz, my next yoga therapy product, comes out November 15th. There's so many things going on. Stand Your Ground is a linguistics event that I'm co-hosting with Brian Casella on October 29th. You go to ninthbloom.com to sign up for that, check it out. We have lots of YouTube feeds about what exactly it's going to be on, but it's going to be very impactful. I know. I'll do another video on linguistics. This is enough for this video right now, and I'll see you in the next one. Namaste.